Hey there, guys. Welcome to Drawings and Dragons. It's going to begin shortly. So okay. This is Drawings and Dragons, and I am your host, Dan Victor. So here we go. Do a little. It's sort of hard to see, isn't it? But this one I started before, so I wanted to try to, just, damn, it's not really working that well. I may have to change the lead in that. But this was one that I had been working on, and I don't know. I mean, like, I definitely want to finish it, but like, I'd love to do something that's more, more just from this session, but I thought it would be cool to just show you something that I had been working on. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a fresh start, and I'll try to be conscious of the fact that this light is right there. Trying to fucking think if I can get it so that it's more like this, and then it's not, the shadow's more on this side. Whichever, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, truthfully, if it was up a little bit, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that's cool. All right, cool. I have. It's hard a little bit with the rig I have here. It kind of gets in the way of my vision, but I think you got to not care too much, because nothing is ever the end all be all. You always have something else that will affect your system. I'm gonna try doing this too, because this is like see if that helps a little bit with the I mean, that way it's not like it's now it's different. It's a different fucking light source. Man, light is interesting, isn't it? Just to have a little bit more light. Doesn't matter. And then what I'll see in stuff like this is, wow, now my vision is really fucked. Like, I'll find different things, and sometimes it's, more apparent than others, what needs to happen. But I mean, like, the fun of this is, like, it's sort of a puzzle. It's like, on a rainy day, if you ever have a jigsaw puzzle, it feels like that, like you're just sort of figuring out what, your next move is, based upon, what you've already done. So, this is like basically using just a little bit of uh, marker. And this is kind of cool because the marker's actually been a little bit used, so you can still get a nice solid line if you try, but it's it's not trying to color in the lines necessarily. Not that that's horrible. It's just then you have something that's a little bit thinner. Now this is a permanent ink as opposed to the other kind of ink. Just making sure that I am. So composition, then you say, okay, well, what's the composition looking like? It's a little heavy here, which I mean to be, but I also want to bring it around. So this area is actually more the focal point because it has a bit more contrast in space, contrast of the space around it. And, I'll take a little bit more active approach with this, which is a Pilot Precise Pen V5. Definitely a favorite of mine since college. I kind of like doing this. I'm going to call this the notebook for Drawings and Dragons because it's sort of like where I get ideas that I would take into paintings. Now, I feel like drawing is a lot easier to record because you can see me doing it a lot faster. These paintings will be stuff that I can try to record, but to be truthful, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my paintings that are vertical on on Instagram, and then I'll have my my horizontal stuff or square stuff, you know what I mean? Like it could be squared. I think for Instagram that's definitely acceptable, especially if you end up having stuff above and below it, which I may do. And you can cut in and out. It's like I'm just trying to make it as little work as possible. And I think the idea is you feel like what works. Watching Jerry Seinfeld really inspired me to say, hey, listen, man, I'm all about art. This is why I do what I do. I don't want to act. I'm very convicted about my craft and, meticulous about, how you go about that. And, when you have somebody like Jamie Foxx and what do you call it? And Jerry Seinfeld. These are all massive talent that has, gotten to where they are, like in their own way, but all share this commonality as a artist or as somebody who's looking to achieve something greater than themselves, in themselves. You're a conduit for that which is greater than yourself. And sometimes I'm like, well, is this all we have in life? When you die, is that all there is? Because I do think sometimes, like, I'd like to believe in an afterlife, but you never know. Maybe you're just a piece of meat that after you're gone you're gone, and you live on in memories. But really, what is that giving you? You want to leave your mark, but who is there to recognize it? You want to say, hey, I was here, this is what I did. I definitely feel as though I've done that in my life. But as far as like leaving an impact on art or whatever, the impact I would like to have is for people to inspire themselves And I think, people do. I mean, there's a lot more people who are inspiring themselves, especially online. You see that. That's what I'm trying to do, or I am doing. I am doing this, um, and there's a plan in place. I think. I think if I can just, get to the golden, fleece. I mean, all of these steps, like even this right here, like practicing art is good because I just spent last 3 weeks actually, scheduling content, getting templates made for my, adding another layer of the process, not just doing like I had started with. I had started with posts on Instagram, scheduling them and doing one every day. Kind of committed to that, and then after that, I had said, okay, well, I want to do repost of these Instagrams on my site and do that every day in addition to new Instagram posts, which I then did. Now, this time around, I had added into doing posts on DVT's Facebook so that I have some content going up every day, and it's an ad for people who are in the thing, and I'm probably gonna, now I have that out until January, so I have something going on that page too. Do some more networking and whatnot, but I think try some online advertising. Spruce up the shop, get some new products. I think the snacks line is going to be the thing that I locked into that people seem to dig. So it's like, wow, I had to wait until I found that, I think, before I felt like I wanted to spend some money. I wanted to do ads for products that I felt people would be passionate about, and I wanted to see that with my friends and use them as because they are a demographic of people, and if there's some commonality amongst them, in a genuine way, and you can kind of gauge that by people's reactions, and it's not like, you can't get offended or upset because your friends don't dig what you're doing. They just don't get it, and it even may be really witty and cool, but like it's not hitting. And I think the idea of something hitting is more appealing than something that's just made by me. I'd rather, I want to be a part of that thing that's hitting, but like, I would rather have something hit and be successful because of that thing being of good quality than not. Still recording? Okay, cool. Very cool. That's where we're at so far. Now, here's another trick that I do is that I'll bring in, then I have this, but like say I don't like that, I want to like get rid of that. I said, okay, well, I have all of these things that have been, appropriated from the pencil, which they say, oh, it's inking. I says, well, yeah, could be inking, could be, a like conglomeration of pen and pencil, which I definitely like the feel and dynamic of having more than one medium in the mix. Plus, it can like easily make something look more polished than if it's just in one. I think you have to work a lot harder to say, okay, well, I'm just going to work in ink. Say, okay, well, and to me with art, I guess I've taken the position with making art the same way people have with businesses. Like it's not about how how clever or how well put together your plan is that if it does it work, and if it's working, just keep doing what you're doing and saying, okay, well, that sounds like you're pleasing an audience, and it's saying, no, it's just saying like you found something that your audience resonates with, and you want to continue to explore what it is and sort of discover as a scientist or a discipline of an artist is, I want to know why people are resonating with something. I want to understand, and if I do understand from what I can see, I think sometimes I don't respect it. But if I try to find out enough about the thing that I'm learning about, or like the thing I don't understand, then I've given some effort into either one, fulfilling my opinion, that it's not something, or it's something that surprises me, and I try to truly remain open to that, without bias. So, that's, that is what it is, I suppose. I hope you guys like what's going on here. This is sort of just it's creatures, robots, cats, you know, that's sort of my thing. I do creatures a lot, sometimes robots, but it's sort of a default that I end up going into this kind of a mental, situation here. So now that I'm sort of saying, okay, well, I see what's up here. Now I want to go here, and then that. So now I'm saying, all right, well, now I want to get in here a little bit better. This is one of my favorite pens too. It's a Papermate medium flare, and I like the sensitivity I can get with it. I think also I have been accustomed to using it. Now this has been a little used out, so I kind of like that when I'm working on a piece, because it's not like so committal. It's like, you have a little like sensitivity to it. It's not just like a bunch of ink. Because I think one of the things with pen, and this is a felt tip, it can I don't know, just kind of be extreme in the way it presents itself. There you go. So now that I've done a little bit, like here's my teeth vibe. So like that's the other thing, is like I always do these like kind of teethy teeth, very tooth, or like molar. I guess this is more my fear of I don't know, my fear of something. I really wish this wasn't. Come on. Oh, that's what it is. I need more fucking. Is this the 2H? 2H. Yeah, so this is me putting in the So the reason I got these is because it's this is an HB, which is softer. It's a softer lead, and this is a little bit harder. So you get a slightly different quality to the pencil or the graphite, And the reason I like these too is that, you know, you can see from this is that you can obviously get the very messy lines if you want to, but these have a very good way of being very precise. So let's see. Come on. There we go. Yeah, because I like this pencil and I have this eraser that's really cool too. That it's really nice. So this is really great for doing shading because, again, it's a little bit less mark. Gives you a little more time to build up some shading, and then you can see it's sort of nice, and you don't really, until you do some blending, which I did get some blending tools, but you know, and then you can make very, you know, committing lines without having it be too, you know, then you can say, okay, well, how do I want to like finish this up? Do I like kind of like this, like almost like he's like a bald headed, like, and you have the hair kind of coming out, and then the other thing is I can do this situation, which is sort of, you know, my MO, and if I, you know, go in the traditional computations, you know, so what do you guys think so far? Pretty cool, right? So, you know, now that I've built the composition, which I feel is kind of, I mean, like I'm still building detail. I can kind of see, all right, where's that? And then there's this, you know. And then I can say, okay, well now, I'm pretty sure I have HBs too, but I don't know where they are right now, so that would be a bitch if I was unable to find them. And, you know, when you can make a nice mark without it being, you know, controlled or contrived, you know. So, I'm gonna think a second. So, in the interest of trying to make this a deuceable deuce down, I have about a few minutes, but you know, that's what deuce downs are for. I'm not really worried about time right now. What I'm worried about is, well, I'm not worried. And you wonder, is like, is that enough? Is that, you know, is that enough for me? Right? It's like, where's the cohesiveness? I gotta, like, you know, make that part of this now that you know, I have the structure. Now I need to do the magic here, you know, the mojo, so to speak. And, you know, I mean, you say shading, it's not, I mean, it's shading, but it's like, you know, I mean, so many people plan their shit out and then they're like, well, you know, I build up the process and, you know, you can't have too many black lines. It's like, listen, black lines are essential to my process. And process is what we like to do, what we like to talk about here on Dan Victor Does. Dan Victor does a lot of well, I'm Dan Victor and I do a lot of things. One of them being drawing, and I do a lot of other stuff too. But you know, I mean, this is one of the things that I'm also doing interviews, and that's going to be, you know, interviewing artists and stuff. So, you know, I'm looking forward to going through some of the publicist's emails and sort of see, oh, well, is there anything that I could, you know, get into? And, you know, truthfully, it's a smart move for my promotion. I mean, I think I need to also do some Snacks gear. So Snacks is, you know, my main thing. I think if I do Snacks and, you know, continue to tighten up my product, the rest of the stuff will come through, especially when I end up getting those folks in the mix. So, you know, I'm gonna get some more Snacks gear, do the whole thing with all of the snacks, and yeah, Snacks the fuck out. Yeah, because if you can't get behind Snacks, then which can you get behind? Leftovers. Snacks, they get the snacks. They get the snacks. Okay, so we're back, and I'm gonna add some color in here. I think color can do a lot of things, but sometimes it's not welcome. So this one is black. So white and brown. Okay, there we go. So, I kind of like to say, well, if we are going to hit this up like this, you know what I'm saying? Do you get bolder now? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, don't think that I don't get back in here with this, even though this is a different type of pencil. So, you know, right? But now that we got some more solidness, it's a beast of burden. And you'd be surprised at how a little bit of color in the mix can really add that special flair, but like I see now, I have a lot more pencil in here than I do marker. So like I need to reconcile that a little bit. So this is how you do if you're quick. And then, then you're like, oh, well, I want to put a little brown in the mix too. And it's not the same anymore, right? Yeah, I'm a little impatient, but like I like to try to work fast to keep the energy alive, And then you're like, oh, okay, well. And then you're like, oh, wow, bang. And then yellow. I think that's an excellent place to put that. And I may have to sharpen this. Oops, shit. I gotta like be very gentle with this now because of the length of it. That's a favorite thing of mine to do is add 2 colors of these pencils together to, see? And I can do the other way too. Just like, just a little lighter. Yeah, so this is turning into something very nice here, right? I kind of like that it's on the outside is the thing there, right? I may have to sharpen this next, but Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's just very, you know, I don't want to say tedious, but like there's a lot of, you know, say craft is the word that we use, you know, but being able to say, well, not just say, hey, well, I'm done, but like saying, hey, I need to step away more than I'm done. Like for me, this is cool. Now I need to like bring this in here somehow. And that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I feel like something in here's gotta like be, but definitely here. It's like, where's the logic in the, you know? And for me, I'll always start with vocal, you know, focal point out, and then work out from there more so than once, you know, some people like build up and build up and build up and build up. I'm like, well, fuck, what are you doing waiting to build up? So you do the same thing down here, right? And then we'll see which one goes up there, because you want to like, so I think, right? Okay. I don't know why I chose to do it this one more so than any of the other ones, because it's like this is a little bit more complete than I wanted to do. I just wanted to do like a, you know, basic. I guess this is basic, you know. You know, sort of a you know, not quite finished lines. For me, I'm just saying, I think it's like saying, well, what is the outside of this thing? right? Right. Then I'll throw a little bit more in the mix once I've been convinced of like saying this is my bird, wing, chest. Right, so because you need to know, right? Yeah, and I know that's probably not completely done, but, you know, in the interest of, you know, time. So like when you get like this kind of stuff, that's it. And I may do some touch-ups, but like, I mean, that's like the, yeah, well, maybe I'll do some more. right? Just little select parts. Carry it through, you know. Yeah, and this sort of just fill out some of these things that, you know. There you go. DJB. Session, and then I'm gonna call it quits for this guy because I'm sort of getting bored of the thing. So it's kind of like now I have this a little bit gnar. I think all I'm gonna do is just build out what I have here, because you know here it actually doesn't look bad. I looked at it when I stepped back from it and tried to, like, you know, it's just that this is, I think, needing, you know, like something to, you know, give it hair. You know, this. See, this is what happens if I do the thing too close to the nub. So, I mean, that's another thing is that, you know, more of this needs to be covered and, you know, right? Fuck. I mean, I'm not trying to do this in a rush, but I am trying to. Fuck, I can't believe I fucked up that nib. Now you see me trying to, like, struggle to fuck it, dude. So, since I'm trying to cover a little bit more ground and I broke that little piece off, you see that I'm not, you can't see what I'm doing, but trust me, it's, yeah, because, like, it's at a certain point you're like, fuck, dude, what do I, you know? And that's sort of what's going on here too. So, so that's fixed. So now this guy is coming to the rescue because it has a silverish. That's why I like pencil. It has like a different silverish quality to all of these things. And then this also, you know, a little yellow in the pond didn't hurt anybody, you know. And I'm trying to make these decisions quick because I'm kind of tired of this piece and I want to be done with it, you know, so I can move on to another one that I think could be exciting. But at the same time, there's sort of a piece of me that's like, well, I know I could make this just a little bit better, and then it'll be something that people will be like, oh, wow, okay. So this is what you were, you know, thinking. And, right? But I need to fucking do this again. I'm thinking that this is more of a... Alright, so I'll take that. And then, like, even this, it's like, I want to be able to have a little bit of brown in the yellow. Isn't that funny? Brown in the yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. You know, so... actually cool. Now for this, I might, you know, go back in with this and do a little bit of this, because this is like the subtlety that can make or break an amazing piece. I mean, I'm not. Same. Okay. All right. I think I'm good with that.